being an actor, it's athletic. Voice is such demanding part of the work.
The topic for today is how a trained voice helps an actor connect more fully to text.
It was almost like it went on the backseat, the intention.
Welcome to Beyond the Script, where we explore acting and bringing characters to life through voice, movement, and different acting methods. I know you noticed the difference in your body, but I heard the difference. So Francoise, if you can just tell us a little bit about your training in voice.
So I'm a trained actor, and when I was performing as a young actor, I had voice problems. I was lucky enough to meet Christine Linklater, in Belgium 40 years ago. I can't say that loud. Exactly, in 1985. Okay, and it really triggered my understanding of my instrument. So I started to do the work for myself for a long time. And then she invited me to become a Linklater teacher because I was asked to teach very quickly, in fact. So I've been teaching for a long time.
And you were previously a LAMDA.
I was lead voice practitioner here for the undergrads and the foundation course for 2 years.
Yeah. Could you tell us a bit about your voice teaching and how it's evolved over the years?
I think I've never been especially forceful when I teach. To do voice work, I think it's much more interesting to bring an atmosphere of relaxation and pleasure, because all the work that young actors and older actors do, it's really so full of hard stories, and it can really trigger lots of emotions in people. So I want to always bring this atmosphere of we can let go of all that and we can pay attention to ourselves. But I think now also I'm much more aware of the neurodiversity side of my knowledge. I understand that people learn differently. So I try to bring different ways of engaging with the work, talking about it more, engaging people to write down stuff if they want, recording stuff if they want. I'm a Linklater teacher, so I do teach the progression of the exercises because it's so strong. I'm not going to change that, but I bring other stuff, other exercise, other type of discussions or questioning to enrich the practice. But it's really about being more inclusive and adapting the exercises for people, always adapting. But what I'm saying is that sometimes people will really not feel anything or not experience anything. But I've understood that if I write down what we're going to do and send it to people, some people just by reading it will be much more relaxed when they come to the class. They know what's going to happen. So I'm much more aware of the benefit. It's not like I know something and I'm going to teach you something and you're going to learn something. It's much more. But there is I think there was the kind of thing like that when I was a student. You were thrown and okay, and that's part of it. And it's. I don't think it's useful for voice or for acting, but let's stick with voice.
To you both, when you both kind of came to do your monologues, what were your intentions, and how did that change after the exercises that you did? Or did it change? That's another thing. Did it change?
If I were talking in quite vague terms, the biggest change for me was the second time. It was so much more in my body that it became much more about him, much more about the person just in front of you. Just felt a lot more connected. I felt like I was almost actually focusing on my intention less the second time, which sounds a bit counterproductive, but it was so rich in imagery and bodily connection that it was almost like it went on the backseat, the intention.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? One of the ideas that words live in the body. With the voice work, we restore the voice and words into the body. So it makes me think of that, your experience, isn't it? So, and especially with Shakespeare, it's so good to explore Shakespeare with the voice work because it's so rich. Yeah, and you don't have to think about psychology or all that stuff. The words carry.
It felt so free.
Yeah,
the way they. Yeah.
I would say something pretty similar. Is my intention coming in here was to ignore the lights and the camera and the studio and the people and all of that, and play my actions, which I wanted to gloat and I wanted to prove a point. And the more that I could just do that, the better job I'm doing as an actor. My intentions didn't change for doing it the second time, but my ability to actually achieve achieve my intentions. I feel like I got closer.
It's interesting that you said that, you know, your objectives were less important the second time than they were the first. That's an interesting point to make.
Yeah, like it does almost sound counterproductive, but I think they were still there, but it was almost like the play kind of came out because the breath was so free. I guess what I'm trying to say is it almost felt easier to achieve the intention because it felt like there was more to play with all of the vocal work that we'd done.
I mean, it's that enigmatic thing that we're always told where it's like you do the work and then you forget about the work.
Yeah. I hate
and it's
that
like,
sentence.
okay, cool. You're supposed to just like lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah.
And sometimes those experiences do happen. And you're like in the moment, you're like, yeah, I'm doing the thing. But a lot of the time it's you're doing the work while you're on stage and you're trying not to show people that you're doing
the work. Francoise, like the exercises you called physical awareness. Why is that? What's the importance of that?
It's really to become aware of tensions in the body, and tensions are locked energy. So if you work with those very simple repetitive exercise that you don't have to succeed doing these exercises, it's just doing it, you practice, you slowly relaxed. So those exercises are designed to relax the body, but be active. So it's not relaxation for relaxation, even if you're on the floor, even though we could, if I was teaching, we do those classes where you really learn to relax on the floor because then you can transfer this sensation when you're standing up because it's easier from the floor, but you've acted in your life, you're not beginners. But it's really about letting go of tension. So the body, the breath are free to be fully used, if you wish. So the tensions in the body, it's muscular tensions, it's locked energy. So if that goes, there is more freedom and it also enhances the presence of the person because a relaxed body will be more alive, and a relaxed body means the breath will be fully there and we can breathe with you also in the audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's getting maximum effect, minimum effort.
I know you noticed the difference in your bodies because you mentioned it, but I heard the difference. It's weird. It's like there was more truth in the delivery of what, because in the beginning, obviously you're kind of cold. You're aware of like cameras. You're aware, like it's weird, it's awkward. There's people watching you. And so I think you're a bit more aware of like what's going on.
But it's really about paying attention to yourself so that you can access your creativity and you're not thinking, they're looking at me, what do they think? All these extra thoughts that are usually floating around when we start working are useless. So warming up, it's not just the technicality and the repetition, but it's also I pay attention to myself. So I can just do what I need to do and I can be with myself, with my partner, like you said, with the public, with what I'm doing. All that is gone. Yeah, I think that's also the aim of warming up.
Yeah.
I think like these exercises, like they help with physical relaxation, just similar to like an athlete stretching before they do a workout or they play a game or whatever. But they also help mentally, like with mental relaxation, silencing the anxieties and the criticism or whatever is going on internally. And those two, the mental and the physical, go in tandem and they feed into each other until then hopefully you are just mentally, physically relaxed.
What was the feeling at the beginning? Was it nerves?
I've not been in a room with this many lights and cameras and things. I made the joke like, oh, we're on set. But genuinely, I was like, whoa, when I came in. It was try as you might to relax, but it's still always quite a daunting, can be quite a daunting thing because it's very alien environment to be in.
Maybe you have a little ritual to remember what it is you need, people develop their own rituals, or also you do what you need depending on the performance you're going to do.
Yeah.
So you will focus on certain parts of the progression or certain parts of the exercises. If you need more voice, if you need to speak here, you will, whatever, you're going to focus on something specific.
Francoise, if there's a tip that you could leave actors with in terms of voice, what have you noticed over the more recent years of teaching voice that actors need to really focus on?
I would say look after your instrument, and even if you're not performing, keep working on your instrument. Your body and your voice are your instruments. Of course, I'm not doing it every day, but I do it even when I'm not teaching. It's like if you're an athlete, being an actor, it's athletic.
Yeah.
So voice is such demanding part of the work. So I would suggest, to people, just don't skip it, because it's also endless and it grows with you, it develops with you as a performer. And you will find new things to do constantly.
I'm guilty because Francoise, she sent me a link to one of her recordings, and I was doing it all the time. And then life started lifing, and I can notice already the difference in my voice when I speak. It's just like it feels restricted, whereas before it just felt like really free. And for both of you, what would you say your takeaway was from today that you want to keep in your toolbox and try and continue to practice?
I like to stretch to the side. I'd never done that one before. I like to stretch to the side because, I've got back issues and everything.
Yes.
And I do that kind of stretch just to help my back. But adding voice into it, I think is useful for me.
Because this is something actually that I took away from when you taught me here. But it's easy to forget with life happening and, like you said, not keeping up with sort of vocal health all the time. But just the simplicity of a vocal warm-up sometimes, sometimes I think I start to believe that a vocal warm-up should cover every single area and you've got to hit all your marks. And if you don't hit all those marks, you won't be the best version of yourself in an audition or something. But those exercises, just the little things, and it unlocks so much, and it's such a small, simple thing.
I just want to say thank you so much. If any of you want to get in touch with my guests, please check the comment section below or the description section below. And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Cool.